Anytime.
Thank you, sir. Let's call this meeting to order. It's 6:02 p.m. This is Mayor Rich Landsberg, and we call this meeting to order. I would like to make clear for the record of this meeting, and it should be reflected in the minutes, that this special City Council meeting of December 8, 2020 of the Woodland City Council will be conducted to Governor Newsom's executive orders N29-20. This meeting will be held via teleconference, and council members will participate via teleconference. Their locations are not listed and on the agenda and are accessible to the public. The public is encouraged to listen to the City Council meeting live on Woodland TV channel 20, and also by going to the City of Woodland's website at www.cityofwoodland.org/meetings. If a member of the public wishes to make a comment during the general public comment or on a specific item on the agenda, there are two ways to do that tonight. First, members of the public were invited to leave a message at 530-661-5900. All voicemail messages received by 6 p.m. tonight will be played during the City Council meeting and read into the record at the appropriate time. Any member of the public watching the live stream who wishes to make a comment on an item as it is being heard may submit an email to the city clerk at councilmeetings@cityofwoodland.org prior to the public comment on that item. Emailed comments to be read into the record shall not be more than 3 minutes when read aloud. Please include the agenda item on the subject line. At this time, we're going to go to item B, roll call. And Madam Clerk, it would be appropriate for you to conduct the roll call of the current council for the very last time. Each member of the council must identify themselves during roll call. Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Mayor Landsberg. Councilmember Barajas?
Present.
Councilmember Fernandez?
Present.
Mayor Landsberg?
Present.
Councilmember Rodriguez? Councilmember Rodriguez?
Present. I'm sorry, I was muted. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Stallard?
Present.
Thank you. I would now like to request that each member of the council respond to these two questions. Can you hear me well, and do you have a copy of the agenda? Councilmember Barajas?
Yes and yes.
Thank you. Councilmember Fernandez?
Yes.
Mayor Landsberg?
Yes and yes.
Councilmember Rodriguez?
Yes and yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Stallard?
Yes to both.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Madam Clerk, have you posted the agenda for this special meeting at a location which is reasonably accessible to members of the public?
Yes, I have.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. The record should then reflect that all council members are present for this teleconference and have indicated they are able to hear the proceedings. At this time, I'm going to request that other city officials introduce themselves and their positions so that the record can reflect their attendance at our meeting. I'm first going to call on our city manager, Ken Hyatt.
Yes, good evening, Mayor, members of the council. Ken Hyatt, city manager, is present.
Hi, good evening, everyone. This is Ashley Zambrano, the assistant city attorney.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the council. This is Ana Gonzalez, city clerk.
I'll also acknowledge that we have other staff listening and present in the meeting. We have Derek Caff, our police chief, Eric Zane, fire chief, Christine Engel, community services director, Greg Locke, our public works director, Brent Meyer, the acting community development director, as well as Kim McKinney, finance officer, and Scott Sowen, our IT manager.
Thank you, Mr. City Manager. Now, as we go through tonight's agenda, I would request that before you speak, you should please identify yourself each time you speak. For example, this is Councilmember Fernandez. Let the individual speak and please do not interrupt. I would also ask that to the greatest extent possible, you should mute your phones or your devices so that we do not get unnecessary background noise. I would also like to advise council members and the city clerk that any votes taken during this teleconference portion of our meeting must be taken by roll call. I would ask that Madam Clerk take this roll call for any and all votes. Now we'll begin with our agenda, starting with item C, the Pledge of Allegiance. And I will do it tonight. And ready? Pledge. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible,
with
liberty and justice for all.
Takes us now to item D, public comment. Madam Clerk, since the council chambers are closed to the members of the public, is there any member of the public who has submitted an email or left you a voicemail for the general public comment portion of our meeting?
No, I have none.
Are there any hands raised?
No.
Thank you. That takes us to item E, council and staff statements and requests. I'm going to start in this order tonight, starting with Mayor Pro Tem Tom Stallard.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It's only been a week since we last met, but the Local Agency Formation Commission did meet. Just so all of you know, we do something called municipal service reviews for every political jurisdiction in the county. That means all our special districts, as well as our cities and the like, and the county itself. So we're doing one for the Yolo County Flood Control and Water Conservation District. I only mention this in the event any of you ever want to understand what they do at any of these special districts. Just ask for the MSR report from LAFCO, and you'll get a quick summary of everything that is done. So that was that one. Yesterday was the Policy and Innovation Committee for the Sacramento Area Council of Governments. We're working on a number of things over there, as we always are. I might mention that I just completed service as chair of the nominating committee and recommended the new chair and new vice chair for SACOG. So we'll be meeting next Thursday to deal with that, and also to say goodbye to a number of people who will be leaving their elective service. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Stallard. Let me turn now to Council Member Barajas.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor Landsberg. I'd just like to use my time to congratulate, Xochitl Rodriguez, a council member, and Enrique Fernandez on their last meeting today. 4 years ago they were elected, and we were the youngest, probably the youngest ever city council for the city of Woodland, and they did and contributed tremendously to our community. They worked on the youth master plan that went in front of the council, worked in a collaborative manner with the small businesses, did some road construction projects, and worked with staff, worked on public safety issues. And I know it's their final meeting today, and I'd just like to thank them for all of their hard work in the 4 years and commitment to our residents. And that means a lot. And it was a pleasure working with them. And I continue to look forward to working with both of them in future endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'm going to actually skip Fernandez and Rodriguez momentarily. We'll get back to them in a little bit. My comments tonight are this. Tonight, we will be saying goodbye to two very special individuals, Councilmember Rodriguez and Councilmember Fernandez. But we'll also be welcoming two new members to the council tonight. So tonight will be both bittersweet and sweet. I like bittersweet. I like sweet. It's a good combination. I do want to point out that next week, we'll be saying goodbye to another council member, Angel Barajas, which will only temporarily leave the council with 4 members until such time that that vacancy is filled. At the December 15th council session, we hope to put forth a plan to address this vacancy. I will also point out that at the December 15th council meeting, we'll be electing positions of mayor and mayor pro tem. As such, council member Mayor Pro Tem Stallard, at a meeting a few weeks ago, presented a proposal to council on the mayoral designation. For that reason, I'm asking staff to include in the staff report for our next meeting to discuss and address Mayor Pro Tem Stallard's comment from November 17th, as well as filling the pro tem seat, given the pendency vacancy in District 3. I'm sure that this will require review of the municipal code's provisions regarding appointments. Now I'm going to turn to City Manager Ken Hyatt.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think I'd like to also start by giving a thank you to Sochi and Enrique for just the great wisdom they have demonstrated over the last 4 years on council, even given their age. They've brought great value to not just the council, but I think the entire city organization. It's been a pleasure serving with you, and on behalf of staff, I want to just give you a warm thank you for everything that you've offered, and your commitment, dedication, I think has demonstrated itself as infectious, and just want to thank you for all that you've done, and it's been very rewarding and encouraging to see how you've lifted up this community and really encouraged them to participate, particularly amongst our youth. So thank you both, Sochi and Enrique. Also wanted to offer a quick report around COVID. I'm sure the council and the community is well aware that over the past week, there's been a lot of discussion and a lot of action out of the state and the county as well, relative to how to respond to the increasing case rates as well as hospitalization that was really anticipated post Thanksgiving week. So last week, the state issued a new regional stay-at-home order. That order, for those that have been tracking that, has not yet gone into effect here for Yolo County. We are part of the Greater Sacramento region, under which the state's order stipulates the 5 regions throughout the state will sort of move together into this new state once they achieve a certain metric that was prescribed, and that is the ICU capacity rate. So in regions where that capacity drops below a 15% designation, that entire region then would go into this new regional stay-at-home restricted condition, and then stay in that condition for at least 3 weeks. And then, interestingly enough, rather than on a region-wide basis, each county then would be allowed to move out of that restrictive state should their ICU capacities within each county move above that 15% and be projected to stay above that for the next 4 weeks. Those restrictions that were stipulated by the state would impact many activities in our community here, including closure of outdoor playgrounds as well as indoor playgrounds. Recreational facilities would be closed indoors. Hair salons and barbershops would be forced to close, personal services as well, and then also museums, zoos, aquariums, movie theaters, and whatnot. Modifications then would also be imposed upon other activities. Restaurants would be restricted to takeout and pickup only. Retail would be limited to 20% capacity indoors. Released yesterday and today, the state and the county modified that slightly to address grocery stores. There was some concern around capacities within grocery stores. And so that got adjusted to 35% effective today under the county's order. And then if we were to move into the regional, would stay there as well. Hotels for non-essential travel would be restricted. If there's essential travel that are necessary for critical infrastructure, those hotels could continue to operate and accommodate those guests. And then places of worship would be restricted to outdoor only. Schools would remain unchanged under this order. So any school that received a variance previously would be allowed to continue to operate under that variance, but schools that had not yet reopened would continue to stay closed until they moved out of this new restricted regional stay-at-home condition. If we were to move into this regional stay-at-home order, if we were to move out, we would move out and land back into the tier that we were in previously, which in our case is currently the purple tier. Currently, given the hospital ICU capacities here in Yolo County, the county health officer last week proactively authored a new order that went into effect at midnight on December 6th. That really was intended to try to buffer and delay the time in which we would achieve the regional metrics as we were starting to see, more rapid advance towards that limited capacity. And so Dr. Sissom and the county last week put together additional guidance that we are now currently under that limits gatherings as well as restaurants being allowed to provide outdoor seating, but only for members of the own family or the same family and household. So slight restriction there, but again, intended to minimize contact between members not of the same household. Indoor retail establishments would then and are now currently under the 20% restriction, and grocery stores under that 35% occupancy restriction. Gyms and fitness centers can operate, however, outdoors only and with face coverings required. And then sports, all competitive games and contact activities for sports is now prohibited. However, limited drills and conditioning can continue to occur. So this is a very dynamic situation, obviously, that we're tracking and monitoring and every day, and just about every hour almost, it seems like information is changing and evolving, and we will continue to keep the council and the community up to date as we learn more. At this point, it is projected that our region would hit the state's 15% capacity threshold by sometime early to mid next week. But again, this is changing rapidly, and we may see that modified or moved up. So next week, we will provide an update as well, a little bit more comprehensive information for the community council as well as we learn more. And then lastly, real quick look at the long range. Next meeting, believe it or not, is the very last council meeting for 2020. Don't know how it went by that quickly, but naturally the first regular meeting of the new council will consist of a lot of business activity for the council. We'll set the calendar. You'll be designating a mayor pro tem at that meeting. Certainly all the appointments that the council members will be taking on will be worked out as well. And then lastly, we'll tee up for the council a discussion about filling the vacancy for District 3. So pretty full agenda next meeting. And then we will also have presentation and a final action, hopefully, for the council on transferring the East Beamer Way property to Friends of the Mission of Fourth and Hope. So we'll do a presentation, provide to you the final land transfer and covenant agreements for that project. So significant milestone for that project as well. So that will conclude my remarks. Mr. Mayor, I'll turn it back over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Hyde. And that was a lot of information regarding the COVID update. And I want to turn it over to council members. They have a question or comment on the COVID issues. Mr. Stallard?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you, Mr. Manager. I just want to say that I certainly believe we need to keep encouraging our community to wear face masks in appropriate circumstances, to maintain social distance, to wash their hands, and simple things like that. But I think other communities are learning the imposition of large fines and the efforts to involve law enforcement are not successful and not advised. Sacramento County Board of Supervisors had an immense amount of testimony before they dropped their plan to have significant fines. $10,000 was their highest fine. And law enforcement around the state has declined to enforce to fines. So I think we need to all be working on a persuasive approach to eliciting citizen cooperation for these reasonable restrictions that will help all of us be healthier and get beyond the pandemic. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Stallard. Any member of the council have a question or comment regarding the COVID update? My only comment is this, council members, is that because we're going backwards instead of going forwards for now, I've asked the city manager to update us on COVID at every meeting until things improve. So thank you for that, Mr. Hyatt. Did you have something else in the long-range calendar?
I think one other mention for next week's meeting, just because it's a topic of much interest in your email inboxes as well as mine, is waste management. So on the long range next week, we have a waste management rate adjustment, which is normally a fairly pro forma action item by the council on consent. I've asked staff to provide a report to the council and to the community on the service issues that have been experienced throughout the community over the past several weeks, so that we can have a discussion and provide some information to the community, the council, around what those challenges are due to and how waste management is moving forward to provide better updates to the community on service impacts and what they're going to do to remedy that moving forward prior to taking action on any rate adjustment. And then I do want to note also, so we have on the long range future topics a council retreat coming up. Typically that's in a January timeframe at the early end of the new council's tenure. And so I'll be working with the mayor over the next week to find a date near the mid to end of January to structure a retreat. Unfortunately, we won't be able to likely meet in person to do that council retreat, but important goal setting session to start the council off kind of in the going in the same direction. And so we'll figure out how to structure that in a virtual Zoom format and be effective and productive. So look for that probably as a special meeting near the end of January.
Thank you. Is it safe to assume we won't be in Maui?
At least not in person, but maybe with your green screen in the background.
Thank you, Ms. City Manager. That takes us now to item F, report city manager, item specifically item F2, declaring results of the November 3rd, 2020 election. Mr. City Manager, and that question I have before you do that, will this be 2 votes? Can we do it in 1?
I believe we typically do this in 2 votes, 2 separate resolutions. So I'll have our city clerk, Ana Gonzalez, provide the report on this and present the actions for the council.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and members of the council. Before you this evening, you have 2 resolutions for adoption. Resolution number 7606 declares the results of the November 3rd, 2020 election for 3 members of the City Council. For Council District 2, Tom Stollard, Council District 4, Vicky Fernandez, and Council District 5, Mayra Vega. The second resolution, resolution number 7607, declares the results of the November 3rd election related to measures R, S, T, U, and V.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Chair, move approval of the first resolution, declaring the results of the election as to the candidates.
I'll second.
So we have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Stallard, a second by Councilmember Barajas. Madam Clerk, a voice vote, please.
Thank you. Councilmember Barajas,
Aye.
Councilmember Fernandez,
I abstain.
Mayor Landsberg,
Aye.
Councilmember Rodriguez,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Stallard.
Aye.
Thank you. Resolution 7607 carries on a 5-0 roll call vote.
That would be 4-0.
My apologies, 4-0 roll call vote.
And I also think you said 7606.
Yes.
I'd move we adopt the resolution declaring the measure as having been successful.
I'll second.
The motion by Mayor Pro Tem Stallard, the second by Councilmember Barajas. Madam Clerk, a voice vote, please.
Thank you. Councilmember Barajas,
Aye.
Councilmember Fernandez,
Aye.
Mayor Landsberg,
Aye.
Councilmember Rodriguez,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Stallard.
Aye.
Thank you. Resolution number 7607 carries on a 5-0 roll call vote.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Thank you.
At this time, I would like to congratulate Tom Stallard, Victoria Fernandez, and Mayra Vega for their election to the City Council. While Tom and Mayra seemed to be unanimous choices, Victoria had a seesaw battle to the end. To me, this demonstrates that each and every single vote counts, and that our system of democracy, which depends on each individual vote, even though our system may be under attack, will endure the test of time. It is the best system we have. Now I want to take the time to focus on two outstanding individuals who go out tonight with the understanding that they are ending their time on this council with distinction and the utmost respect from their council members. Xochitl Rodriguez and Enrique Fernandez. For the two of you, our system of government does not allow us to lavish you with gifts of appreciation, which I would love to do. But we can acknowledge your service with these certificates of appreciation, which I hold up in my hands for you, which we will get to you. I know you can't see them, but they're special made just for you. We'll make sure that you get your plaque. But first, I'm going to pick on Enrique Fernandez. Enrique Fernandez is one of those people who actually paid attention to his parents, Armando and Vicky Fernandez. Probably had no choice. He went to school and he studied hard. Enrique attended local schools and ended up as the salutatorian at Pioneer High School, which really means he's pretty darn smart. He was also the star quarterback of the Pioneer football team, which means he also had a following of groupies just because he was a jock and he happened to be smart. I'm not going to read the entire certificate of appreciation, Enrique, but I want to just highlight a couple things here because we know you've been busy. Whereas Enrique has served as the vice chairperson of Woodland Parks and Recreation Commission, where he successfully advocated for improving access to city programs for low-income youth, for expanded communication between the city and the community, and for the passage of Measure J. Additionally, Enrique has served on the Woodland General Plan Update Steering Committee, where he has advocated for smart, remember that he's smart, so it's going to be smart growth and sustainable growth and infrastructure improvements that strengthen the local economy. And whereas Enrique has also served Woodland by coaching high school football, organizing food drives, coordinating initiatives that add quality of life for Woodlanders. He has served as co-chair of the citywide Commit to Fit initiative, as a member of the Woodland Bike Campaign, as a volunteer at the Yola Food Bank Kids Farmers Market, as a member of the League of Women Voters. I'm running out of breath, he does so much. And as a board member on the Woodland Recreation Foundation. Also for the past 8 years, Enrique has awarded a scholarship to a graduate of Pioneer High School, which demonstrates a commitment, who will demonstrate a commitment to moral courage and community service. Enrique has served Woodland community and the council with great distinction. Enrique, on behalf of the entire city of Woodland and the city council, we thank you for your service. And now, Enrique, the floor is yours for the last time. Please let us know your plans for the future, because we know you're not done. We know you have ideas in that head of yours, even though there's no hair on it. We know there's ideas in there that need to come out and put policies and procedures for all of us. Enrique?
Ah, shucks.
No pressure.
I appreciate the kind words, Mr. Mayor, as well as the city manager and the other council members who commented on the departure of my colleague and I tonight. I honestly don't have anything prepared, but I think each of you, whether you're on the staff or a member of this council, understands my fondness for you, my deep appreciation for the work that you do, because I know it's challenging, and I know it's oftentimes rewarding work that goes unnoticed. So stay the course, continue serving Woodland to the best of your abilities. I know this ship is in good hands. There are a lot of challenges facing our community, like many other communities, but big opportunities arise in big challenges. So I encourage you to face those challenges, to face that adversity head first with all the vigor and strength that you can. Other than that, I think our city manager forgot to include in the record Chief Zane's mustache. So I'd like the record to show that Chief Zane's handlebar mustache was also present at tonight's meeting. So with that, I will conclude my remarks. As the last evening as a city council member, it's been an honor and a pleasure serving the town that I love so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Enrique. Wonderful words. You're up, Xochitl, you know you were going to be, right? Let me call him Xochitl Rodriguez Murillo. How do you even begin to scratch the surface of this multiply talented individual? In just a few years, Xochitl has accomplished much more than people twice her age, 3 times her age, 4 times her age. It comes down to Xochitl's talents and her commitment to make this community, this state, this country, a better place for all of us. Xochitl not only brings her A game to the council, she's also a firm believer, just like Cesar Chavez, that once social change begins, cannot be reversed. You cannot uneducate a person who has learned to read. You cannot humiliate the person who feels pride. You cannot oppress the people who are not afraid anymore. In my 2 years working with Xochitl, I have learned that this woman is a woman of strength and determination. She wanted to be heard, and by golly, she was heard. Again, I'm not going to read the whole proclamation, but let me just highlight a few words. Whereas Xochitl Rodriguez was elected to serve as District 5 City Council member, she also served as the first and only Latina mayor in Woodland's history. Whereas Xochitl is a first-generation college student and an Operation Iraqi Freedom veteran, and we do thank you for your service, Xochitl. Xochitl holds a Bachelor of Arts degree in International Relations and Spanish from the University of California in Davis, and a Master of Arts degree from Cal State University of Sacramento. Xochitl is both bilingual and fluent in English and Spanish. Whereas outside of her council duties, Xochitl serves as principal consultant to Assembly Member Anthony Rendon, where she leads the outreach for prospective appointees to our state boards and commissions. Xochitl owes her interest in public service to the work she accomplished as a field representative under the 53rd Assembly District. Under this role, she promoted civic engagement in the community of Boyle Heights, the cities of Huntington Park and Vernon, and other communities surrounding downtown Los Angeles. What this really means is that Xochitl Rodriguez Murillo has really just begun. I don't know. I think someday we might be saying something like, "Good afternoon, Senator Rodriguez," or maybe Congresswoman Rodriguez. I don't think there's anything that can stop her. And now, Xochitl Rodriguez, there are some words of wisdom I know you have for us tonight, for your constituents and your fellow council members. It's all yours.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Take a deep breath here. I appreciate the honoring, and I will add there at the end that following my role with the State Assembly, I joined the Department of Veterans Affairs, most recently serving minority and underrepresented veterans. So very much grateful for that opportunity. Let's see here, where to start. All right, I want to thank you all for your immeasurable support these past 4 years, to my colleagues through the ups and downs, serving our community, our youth, and our seniors. And I think, I know we're going to keep going here under your official capacity. I'm always here for support in any way I can. To our city administration, staff, I know that more than half the time we come to you and just ask for favors and this and that. And I want you to know that all your help is very much appreciated. And we know you have so much on your plate. And, it's an engine that's going to keep running all the time. So thank you so much for your support. Our community members, you are our driving force behind all we do as a council and as an administration. So, ask for the best, expect the best, and reach out to your council members and your administration. We're always here to be of service. Our incoming council members, I leave here feeling really good about the leadership that you're going to exemplify for our community. Thank you very much and congratulations to my family, my husband Antonio, all of you out there for the long nights, for bearing with me, for joining me when I tugged at you to join me at an event. What you may have, I know you felt the pressure a lot of times, and I want to thank you for that, and to all the friends out there as well that supported me along the way. I know we have so many organizations out there and businesses that make part of our community and contribute in so many levels. So I want to thank you, and I know you're going to continue the work you're doing. Our veteran service organizations, our business chamber, our small businesses. We're going to get through this not so sweet moment of COVID. You provide services at all levels for our community and beyond. A special gratitude to our public safety and first responders out there, our fire department and police department, and for your engagement in our community that has been just vital at all levels, and everywhere you go. You stand out and you encourage the little ones to be that next police officer or fireman or next female chief, right? We had some great moments out there in the community. I'm going to miss them under an official capacity, but I'm not going away. I'm not very good at goodbyes. So, I do want to also thank, and I know in the past he once told me, you don't have to thank me for doing my job, but Mr. Jim Smith for covering everything throughout our city and our council. Thank you for being there. Finally, Mr. Mayor, I want to send a shout out to our Spanish-speaking community, nuestra comunidad hispanohablante. Muchísimas gracias por su apoyo incondicional. Seguiré en Woodland. Entonces, en lo que les pueda servir, estoy aquí a sus órdenes. Por favor, manténganse involucrados, mantengan a sus familias sanas y saludables. Ha sido un placer. Muchísimas gracias por su apoyo. Everyone, we're gonna beat this COVID pandemic. We're gonna get through it. Just stay safe. And I know that the next time around, we'll be out there in the community again. Sharing selfies and more posts on social media. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. I hope I didn't forget anyone. Feel free to reach out, and I'm always accessible. Thank you.
Thank you very much for those words. Like I said, this is a bittersweet moment as we bid a fond farewell to Enrique Fernandez and Xochitl Rodriguez. But now we're going to turn to the sweet spot of tonight's meeting and go to item G, the oath of office to our new and re-elected council members. Since we are virtual, which I want to share is unfortunate, we're going to do this a bit different tonight. We would normally have the city clerk do the swearing in, but tonight I'm going to ask the council members to have individual ceremonial swearing-ins by a person of their choice. And I'm going to ask the council members for their remarks. I'm going to start tonight with District 2, the re-election of council member who is also Mayor Pro Tem Tom Stallard. Mr. Stallard, who have you chosen for your swearing in tonight?
I'll be happy to have my good friend, Ana Gonzalez, City Clerk. Do you have the statement?
No.
Yeah, Ana will have to. My wife is here, but she does not have the statement.
Okay.
So Ana? Maybe she wasn't expecting
Muted.
this.
No, I'm ready. Raise your right hand. Please say aye, state your name, and repeat after me.
I, Tom Stallard,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties upon which I am about to enter.
the duties upon which I'm about to enter.
Congratulations.
Thank you,
You're
Anna.
Aplauso, aplauso, aplauso.
Big audience of one back there, you know.
Mayor Pro Tem Stallard and recently elected District 2 representative, do you have a few words of wisdom for us?
Well, I have a few comments. First of all, it's a wonderful evening, and this is how democracy works. Peaceful transitions. It's the way it should work. I actually plan to save my thanks for this time for those who are departing. I guess I'm a little behind the curve on that, but many, many wonderful things have been said about you, Enrique, and about you, Sochi, and I just share all of them. I wish you all the best in the future. 4 years is a long time in some ways and a very short time in others. And I know you both have great hearts for public service, and that we won't be holding you down. You'll still be going forward with public service. Sochi, you have a great responsibility with the gubernatorial appointment there in the California National Guard. Enrique was recently hired by the Department of Conservation as staff attorney. So he's also benefiting the people of the state of California in terms of protecting our natural environment through conservation. So happy and proud for both of them. I'm also happy that Tony is getting his wife back. I know that'll be nice. And for Enrique, that we saw his dog there in the picture with him, and that'll be more time for the dog. And also, he has a very serious friend, a girlfriend. So happy all the way around. It's a lovely thing for them. New colleagues, how wonderful. Councils change when the people change, and that's the way it's supposed to be. So Myra, and I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Myra, you like Myra? All right, I'll stay with Myra. I asked you once before, but I've heard other people pronounce it a little differently. So I want to be sure about that. And then of course, Vicky Fernandez has been a friend of ours for years. She taught school for, I think, 30 years at Gibson Elementary, which is in District 2, and beloved by generations of children and their families for her kindness and her work in teaching. And Myra, of course, comes to us with wonderful skills, doing strategic planning for 2 hospital systems, and has a number of business relationships, which will also be very useful for our council. I'm just going to say this was my 6th election, so I think I know the oath by heart. But thank you, Anna, anyway. I, by the way, as you all know, had left office for a period of years. And I just want to say to both Sochi and Enrique, it's going to feel really good when you don't have those big agenda packets to read on Sunday afternoon or whenever you do it, and all the other obligations that come with public service. So I'm happy for you. And Myra and Vicky will be joining the ranks of those of us who will continue to do it. But we do it because we love it, because the compensation is inconsequential, frankly. The financial compensation, it's very modest, but we have that heart for public service, so we do it. The one thing that I always remember is what my colleagues in my first elective role agreed to, and that is, as a council, we either all look good together or we look bad together. So, even though sometimes emotions will want to come to the front, it's so important to stay calm and to try to really listen to one another and to hear, and then to see if there isn't perhaps some movement in our own position to allow us resolve things. I'm so grateful for the council that we've had this last 4 years. Has been basically harmonious. It's been a wonderful experience, and I feel the city is the winner. The city is the winner when we all get along and work hard to find common ground and move forward. Fortunately, it's the staff. It gets back to the staff that really supports us, and they do a great job. We had a wonderful city manager for 8 years. When he left on relatively short notice, his successor was in the wings, ready to go, and we hardly even noticed a change. Even with the impacts of COVID, which have been horrendous this year, our city has continued to provide the services our citizens require. We've gotten that homeless shelter built. We'll soon be filling it with people who have significant needs that will be cared for. Our police chief, who also is relatively new, has just taken the reins and moved that department forward. And a new fire chief's doing the same. This is the way it is. I guess the last thing I want to say is we're all part of the passing parade. Whether you leave tonight or whether you leave 4 years from now or whenever we leave, we're all part of the passing parade. We stand on the shoulders of those who came before us, and others will stand on our shoulders after our time is over. So for those of us, for the new people, let's make the best of it. Let's have a good time, and let's lift Woodland even higher than it already is. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, and congratulations again for your election. Now let's turn to District 4 Council Member-elect Victoria Fernandez. Vicki, are you live? Okay, who have you designated to swear you in tonight?
I have
This bald guy.
I have Enrique Fernandez, my son, who will be swearing.
I think we know who he is. We're good at that. So go ahead.
Here, stand over here. Let's get you in the. We got to get you in there. Here, stand right there. All right, we're gonna do this standing. Can you guys hear us?
Yes.
All right. We're not 6 feet apart, but we share a dwelling. All right, raise your right hand and please say I, state your name and repeat after me.
I, Victoria Fernandez,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and to the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well faithfully discharge
and that I will
well
faithfully discharge
the duties upon which I am about to enter.
the duties upon which I'm about to enter.
All right, congratulations.
Awesome.
All right,
Hey, Lincoln.
sorry, Lincoln, come on.
Council Member Vicki Fernandez, the floor is yours.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate the work that Enrique and Sochi have provided for our city, and I wish them well. I know that they're young and they're eager to continue with their devotion and time for their families. Nicole, Enrique's fiance, will be happy to have his undivided attention, I'm sure. And so we look forward to the great things that they will continue to do as they serve our communities. So I thank the current council members, Mr. Angel Barajas and Mr. Tom Stallard and Mayor Landsberg, for your dedication and devotion to the city of Woodland. And I look forward to working with you. Angel, it will be just a short week, but I know that with your service on the Yolo County Board of Supervisors, we'll have the opportunity to collaborate together and serve the county residents as well as the residents of Woodland. And I look forward to working with you in that capacity. I look forward to working with Maida as we come in together as new colleagues on the council. I look forward to working and collaborating together. So I thank the residents of Woodland. For a moment there, I thought I might not be on the council, and I thank my opponent for the challenge and her dedication and commitment to serving also the residents of Woodland, and know that it was a close race. And I do appreciate every vote that I received. And I plan to continue to serve the residents, not only of District 4, but of the city of Woodland, and know that my love and my compassion and my commitment to serve and work for the residents of Woodland is a lifelong passion that I've had. I normally would say that a parent leads the child into new directions, but rather I have the reverse. My son has inspired me and motivated me to pursue my service on the council, and his belief and the belief of my daughter and my sons, Alexander and Robert, my daughter Christina, and my granddaughter Sierra, are really the motivation that inspire me to continue to serve our community and know that our future in this community is wonderful as long as we're willing to work together and to strive to make a difference. I thank my husband, Armando, who came to this country as a young child from Mexico at the age of 7 and became a police officer, who demonstrates what the American dream is, that those children, like my parents, like my husband, like my siblings who worked in the fields, have the opportunity in this country to make a difference. So my voice is their voice. I continue to serve proudly and believe in the culture and the heritage that my parents instilled in me, to make sure that we represent all residents of Woodland, because we are a diverse community. And I appreciate all those who have made it possible for Enrique to run, for Sochi to run, for Maida and I to run, and for Angel to be here. So I know that my parents came to this community in the 1940s as children, and maybe we're not as welcomed as I believe we are welcomed. And I believe that we need to continue to open the doors for others so that we can continue to make the progress that this community has made. And I thank the Yolo County Concilio for all their work to make sure that we provide opportunities for others, and that we focus on providing that continued opportunity, whether it's academically, economically, so that we can continue to prosper in the city of Woodland. And again, I appreciate the diversity and the historic value that Woodland has. And I hope that I will be a voice for those who would like to reach out to me. I will be here to be your servant. I truly believe that we are public servants, and that is our role, to provide a service for the citizens of Woodland. So thank you, and it's my honor to be here tonight and to continue to serve the citizens of Woodland and the community that I love. And thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, Vicki. By any chance, is Armando there with you?
He's actually watching in another room, but he is here.
I just wonder if Armando's going to be coming with you, like you and he came, Enrique, to the meetings.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if we'll be able to continue coming to meetings, but he'll be attending he's my sidekick, whether he likes it or not. He's kind of goes wherever I go, or I drag him wherever I go. So I appreciate his dedication and his service, to the family and to the residents that he served as a police officer.
Yeah. We all do. Thank you for
Oh,
that.
here he is.
Have him pop his head in there so he can say hi to Armando. Thank you for giving us your lovely wife, who will sit on our council, and of course, your son. Thank you, Armando.
Thank you, Rich. And I appreciate all that you've done. I remember you so many times out in the streets of Woodland. And now you're here representing us as a mayor. What a proud moment, Rich. I'm very proud of you.
All right.
Yes, I'm very proud of my son, Enrique, all of them. You know, my kids, our kids are doing well. Thank God.
Great. Thank
And
you,
my
Armando.
wife, Victoria,
Thank you.
watch out. She has an opinion. She's going to give it to you guys. She'll share it with you. Thank you very much. And we'll see you.
Thank you. That takes us now to District 5, Council Member-elect Mayra Vega. Mayra, tell us who you have chosen to swear you in tonight.
Oh,
Mr. Mayor, I have my
Mayra. Duh, Mayra hasn't sworn in.
Oh, they swear in right now?
Yes.
Somebody needs to mute. Hold on, Mayra. Okay, we're good.
All right, so we have my son Herman here, who's going to do the honors.
All right. Welcome, Herman.
Hello. Please say I, state your name, and repeat after me.
I, Mayra Vega,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
that I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties upon which I'm about to enter.
the duties upon which I'm about to enter.
All applause. And Mayra, you have the floor as your first duty as council member in District 5. Welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you. Well, first of all, I just would like to thank all of the folks in District 5 who have blessed me with this opportunity to serve them. And to my city, you know, my family, and I came here in 2017, beginning of 2018, and we were received with such an immense love and support. I remember moving here with having a incoming 8th grader and an incoming preschooler and not knowing where to start working full time. My husband was commuting, and I was just so surprised, blessed, and happy to have all of the support that my colleagues at the time and the community provided to me. And I told my husband, I said, this was the right decision. This confirms it. I am looking forward to serving, being a public servant, like Vicki mentioned, the rest of my now colleagues have mentioned. You know, it is a great honor to serve this city. I love our home, and I am really looking forward to partnering with it. I'm sorry about my grandfather clock. It is terrible timing. It's automatic. I can't turn it off, so I apologize. I'm really looking forward to again serving, to working together. There is a lot of support in the community. I'm always impressed at how we all rally together from a public, nonprofit, and a business perspective when we need to get to work and address things. I'm really looking forward to continuing that collaboration and leading us into the next 4 years and in the future. These are challenging times. Every day I wake up thinking that maybe it's a bad dream. It's not. So we will work together. And I am very much looking forward to continued conversations with my district members and also with the rest of the city residents. Thank you, and I'm blessed to have this honor. Thank
Welcome
you, Mr.
aboard.
Mayor.
Thank you. Thank you to the new members, and that's going to take us to item H, Mayor's remarks. As we closed out tonight's ceremonial session, I want to thank the Woodland community for their participation in our democratic process by turning out to vote in record numbers. You can go to the Yolo County Elections website and see the numbers for yourself. They are impressive. Even though there are some who make phony claims of rigged elections, I have full faith and confidence that our election system is not only safe, it is fair, it is uncompromised. I wish to personally thank Jesse Salinas and his staff who worked tirelessly for the last couple of months to ensure that our system of democracy is both honest and just. Now we have a new team of 4 council members, and soon we will have 5. I'm so confident that the makeup of this council represents the interests of the greater community in both makeup and in strengths. I look forward to working with each of you as we build a healthier, safer, vibrant, stronger Woodland. But we have a lot of work to do. This council needs to successfully lead our community through this damn virus, which has affected just about the entire community in one form or another. This council needs to focus on our businesses now more than ever, and in particular, our small businesses who employ so many of our constituents. Even though we have suffered some setbacks, we need to regain our momentum in revitalizing our downtown into the community center of commerce, as well as rebuild our cultural and entertainment venues. This council will be actively engaged in the opening of the East Beaver Way campus, which is very close to opening. This council will be focused on integrating services directly with homeless services, and we hope which will serve as a state and a national model. In fact, this council will be presented with some ideas of working in collaboration with the county and the state in bringing about very much needed changes to our system of criminal justice that will hopefully bring a revised effort on dealing with homelessness, and in particular those with mental health issues. This council will continue to hear from our community and will provide direction to staff on issues of traffic calming. To the new council members, you are going to hear from your community about homelessness, about crime, about traffic. We expect you as members of the council to bring those concerns to the council so that we can work on these issues together. And certainly, this council will continue to work with our police department to reduce the incidence of gang violence in our community. Plans are going forward, but we need more work on this. With our new council, we'll make that happen. And lastly, this council will be working closely at addressing the city's budget concerns in light of the effects of the pandemic on our revenue streams. So Vicki and Myra, you'll be expected to bring your good ideas to the table and help us work towards our continuing goal of making Woodland a greater place to live, to work, and to play. Welcome. That takes us now to, well, let me ask this one last question to Madam Clerk. Are there any members of the public who have a hand raised or any comments?
No comments and no one has their hand raised.
Thank you. That takes us then to our adjournment. Any member of the council have any comments on adjournment? Seeing none.
Happy holiday.
Yeah, we'll be back next week. So have a good evening, everyone, and thank you very much for your participation in this ceremonial session. Thank you. Good night.
Bye-bye.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Happy holidays.
Congratulations, Vicki.
Congratulations.
Myra, congratulations.
Here.
Woo!
Sayonara, Sochi and Enrique.